Hey, Ash.
Do we?
If you're listening to this, we do not have a guest speaker.
No.
My voice has been, it's on protest.
Yeah.
So
This is, for everyone listening, this is her
late night.
talk show
Yes.
voice. Yeah.
Yes.
This is her Phoebe cold voice for all the
It really is.
fans out there.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you're into this, you're welcome.
And
if you're not,
if you feel like Taryne's talking a little much, maybe talking a little slower, it's because she's feeling it.
so sorry. Ashley's gonna be like, I got so much talking in today. Like, what the heck? Today's episode is brought to you by Lumi.
Yes,
Isn't
Taryne.
it a must to smell good?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that is what Lumi is here to, support. Lumi was created by an OB/GYN who discovered and proved in clinical testing that, we can't just blame our body parts for day-to-day odor. Instead, she developed Lumi, which is a uniquely formulated pH-balanced deodorant. It's aluminum-free, skin-safe, and clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours.
So what makes Lumi unique and different from other deodorants? It is whole body deodorant, guys, the first of its kind. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. I'm talking pits, underboobs, thigh folds, anywhere. Lumi is, of course, aluminum-free, baking soda-free, and paraben-free, and you can choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage, or my favorite, toasted coconut.
Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi starter pack with code ADVICE at lumideodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit lumideodorant.com and use code ADVICE. Today's episode is brought to you by FabFitFun. Here is your free beauty and lifestyle hack for this episode. FabFitFun is the best way to save money on beauty and lifestyle products from the brands you love. Discover new brands and treat yourself to something nice without overpaying.
As a FabFitFun member, you get exclusive access to shop thousands of curated products from top lifestyle products and brands like Fenty, Kate Spade, Glossier, and many more for, get this, guys, up to 70% off.
Sign up at fabfitfun.com/unsolicited. Customize your box and get access to discounts up to 70% off on brands like Fenty, Free People, and Our Place, to name a few. Not in love with this season's options? Take the credit to shop their exclusive flash sales of up to 70% and save on the biggest name brands out there. If you join FabFitFun as a new seasonal member right now, you'll also get 20% off your membership, so your first box is only $47.99 for up to a $300 value box each season, but only while supplies last. FabFitFun boxes sell out. Join FabFitFun today and save at fabfitfun.com/unsolicited. fabfitfun.com/unsolicited. No, it was brutal. It was so funny because I texted Ashley like the day after our last recording session.
Yes. Which we normally record on Monday, so this was like Tuesday.
Yeah. We were supposed to jump on like a call or like I don't know, or our manager was talking to us about a call. And I said something like, I was like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure I have laryngitis. Like I have absolutely like no voice at all. And Ashley texted me and she's like, when? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah,
and
it was like, it's been 24 hours.
Yeah, like not even. But it was the strangest. I had a cold, and apparently, like, laryngitis just means like your throat. It's like when your throat gets inflamed or whatever. But it can happen sometimes after a cold. So I had just like a chill cold, and then it went to my throat. But I could not, like, to the point where I would open my mouth and try to speak and just air came out. Like, I've never lost my voice like that. And it was for like 4 days.
That's a long time.
And mentally, like I was not doing well, like not being able to talk to anyone. Like that's like my life source.
I got a text message from Taryne, and this was a few days after she had told me that she had laryngitis. So this was like, I don't know, Thursday or Friday. And she's like, I haven't been able to talk to anyone. I'm dying over here. I need attention.
Yeah.
I was like,
struggling.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Do you know what the weirdest part of it though was? It's like, you know those things like you never think about until you experience it. So I had noticed like, and that was the first thing that I was like, I think I'm dying, because when I would try to clear my throat or cough, it sounded literally so weird, like an alien. But if you think about like clear your throat right now, okay, you can hear tone, right? Because like part of it is
your vocal cords.
Even when you cough, it's like tone. So clearing my throat and coughing with no tone attached to it was like, I literally sounded like one of those dogs that like has their vocal cords sticking out and it's just like, it's like, dude, it was like the trippiest thing. But yeah, anyways, I'm good now.
Well,
you can hear me, but you're gonna hear some cracks, some rasp.
Oh man.
Yeah. How are you, Ash?
Oh, I'm doing so good. I did a very hard Pilates class this morning.
Nice.
Kicked my butt, which only makes me, you know how I get with this stuff. Now I'm going to go sign up for some kind of membership and win.
And become certified as a Pilates instructor.
Pilates girly. Yeah. And I was telling Taryne, like I've taken Pilates classes before, but this was one of those sculpt ones with the bands of hell and with, you know, the little ball that you put behind you for the whole ab section. And when I say, and I want to preface this is what I'm saying when I say it was this hard of a class. I work out every day. Yeah. Like I do something every day. I do HIIT cardio. I do yoga. I've done Pilates. I was shaking. Like my whole body was trembling. I look over at my sister and Remy. They're both like, like shaking so hard. And we ended up laughing because it was just so funny, because out of everyone in the room, like I would say the three of us probably work out religiously. And we were barely keeping it together, and that's how hard it was. So
were other people just like,
no, they were dying
in child's
too.
Pose, like just gave up?
Yeah, it was pretty tough, but it felt really good. I had an extra great weekend. My sister, I don't think has gone to the beach once this summer. I dragged her to the beach. Yeah. And it was really fun, and it was very life-giving for both of us. Yeah. And so I had a good reset weekend, started my Monday strong. I'm here recording. Doesn't get better than that.
Right?
What about you, Taryne? How you doing? Other than like being a late night radio host.
So this weekend I had my niece and nephew for the whole weekend, because it's actually cute. So my brother's like a huge football guy, and he's actually never been to a real like NFL game. And so his team is the 49ers, and my sister-in-law's team is the Raiders, and they were playing each other over the weekend. So Vanessa surprised him and like flew him out so they could go to the game.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it was really cute. But then they asked me forever ago if I would watch the kids, and I was like, okay. And of course it falls when I like barely have a voice, and like you need a voice to like keep them in check. No. Yeah. But yeah, it was so much fun. Both of them are at just like such a fun age, and it was exhausting. Like I took like a 40-minute shower this morning because I don't think I like brushed my hair, my teeth, wiped my butt for like 2 days, because I just like didn't have time. And like once they went to bed, I would just zombie out on the couch and like play my puzzle game, because I was just mentally exhausted. Yeah. So it was exhausting, but it was so much fun.
Oh my God, cute. Auntie Taryne is...
I thrive.
Is a very special Taryne.
I thrive. It was funny because I was like holding Lana. I can't remember where we were, but someone was like, Taryne, that looks good on you. Like saying like, you know, like me with the kid. And I was just like so blunt. I was like, yeah, well, like that's the plan any day now. Like I just need like a donor like at this point, because I'm working towards it. Yeah. Like I would love to. But yeah, it was so much fun.
If anyone wants to volunteer.
Yeah. Let me know. Hit me up. But yeah,
we just need some details.
Just a few minor
Nothing
family
too
history.
Serious. We just need some deets. That's all.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine we get like, hey, my second cousin is offering up.
Yeah. He's donating through this bank if you want to.
Oh my God, that'd be
He's
hilarious.
Number 357. Yeah. Anyways, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome back, guys. We've missed you.
We have missed you.
You've missed us. It's a mutual feeling.
Yes.
Welcome back. This is Unsolicited Advice.
Yep.
If you didn't know
Well,
by now.
If you
Which
didn't
I wouldn't
know,
blame you if you didn't, because that doesn't sound like Taryne over there.
No.
Maybe they're questioning. You
Yeah.
know? Anyways, that's Taryne.
Yeah.
I'm Ashley. Also, I met a fan at the event that I was at
Oh, cool.
today, and she loves our content, and that was fun. And I just wanted to give her a quick shout out.
Yeah.
She knows who she is.
You know who you are.
You know what's funny?
Yes. What?
I was listening to Smartless on the way here.
Yeah.
And Jason was sick in their episode.
Yeah.
It was the Jessica Chastain episode. And he had a head cold that he was struggling with. And his voice was nowhere near as bad as yours, but you could tell he was kind of sick, and he would cough off to the side. And it's like the same copy paste. Same
you know
thing.
what's weird? I don't mind listening to people's voices that are like gone.
Yeah.
But I don't like listening to sick. Like when I can hear your
Phlegm.
nose is stuffed.
Yeah.
That's like where it gets me.
Yeah.
But it sucks because people are like, "Oh, are you sick?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine," because I'm not sick anymore. Like my voice is just like gone.
It sounds.
But it like hurts. So like after I talk for a while, it makes me like start coughing. So people are like, "Oh, you're not sick."
You know who you sound like, kind of?
Who?
I can't remember if I told you this, but I am rewatching One Tree Hill because my boyfriend's sister, I saw her this past summer. She said she was rewatching One Tree Hill, and she was having her daughter watch it with her because her daughter's in high school.
Yeah.
And she mentioned that to me, and the second I got home, I was like, I'm doing the same
watch.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, I have never rewatched One Tree Hill, never. So I've been rewatching it, and you are just giving Brooke in every way. You know how Brooke she has that like raspy.
Yeah.
She sounds like she's on the verge of a cold or on the verge of getting over a cold the entire time. Like that's just how her voice is. And I just remember thinking it was so hot.
Yeah.
And I remember being in high school because just me being like my awkward high school self, just wanting to be as cool as she is. I would try to like talk.
Yeah.
all like Brooke like. And it's so funny because my like normal excited like talking voice was always way more higher than that. So it was very forced.
Yeah.
But I would do it all the time. Like people didn't notice, but they noticed.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. I know I've had a couple people be like, "Oh my gosh, your voice sounds so cool right now." And someone I was talking to was like, "Yeah, when I was younger, I used to love that sound," which honestly probably stemmed from that. And they used to like go out and just scream till like their voice was gone, until like her mom told her like, you could like permanently damage your voice, like not have a voice.
1,000%. Also, you know what would be interesting
What?
is how people are so into ASMR stuff on like TikTok and stuff like that. It'd be interesting if you went live and just talked or like read a story like mindlessly and like not trying too hard, but just it would be interesting to see how many people loved it.
We'll take a poll after this episode and be like, did Taryne's voice soothe you?
Well, I'm already going to say yes on my side.
Or get you hot. Or were you like, I'm turning this off? I'm just curious what the percentages would be.
Because of the like 0% phlegm sounding from because that's not there, I 1,000% love it. Cool. But maybe it does stem from my love for Brooke Davis.
I should capitalize on this before it comes back.
Yeah.
And then I'm just boring,
Anyways.
What? Okay, this is coming out.
This episode's coming out the 28th, which you guys, that
it's
means next week's
time.
September.
We got some things.
We got some things we got to go through really quick. Just some reminders, some friendly reminders.
Yeah.
We need your scary stories because our October season is almost a month away, which is so crazy, insane to even think about that right now. It's almost fall. It's almost pumpkin spice season. Praise the Lord.
Yep.
We are going to not only be needing you to send in scary stories, but also get excited because we might have some exciting fun merch coming along with our favorite season.
Yes.
So prepare for that as well. And yeah, it's about to be the best time to be UA listeners.
Alive. Also, we have just like cool announcements in general coming up. So You should definitely follow us on Instagram because that'll be like the first place it'll come.
Also, our TikToks have been so fun there. So just follow us. Stop what you're doing. Follow us on. Actually, don't stop what you're doing. You can multitask. I believe in you. Listen to this
unless you're driving
while you're doing your thing, but then also like subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can watch us. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Send us your scary stories or your friend's scary stories or your grandma's scary story. It doesn't matter who's coming from. Also, I had a conversation with a friend who told me that another friend of mine has a very scary story.
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't like when it's people we know.
I'm excited. I'm supposed to see him this weekend. So everyone wish me luck. I'm going to beg him. Yeah. And he's an actor. So I know he's going to do a good job if I can get him to like sit down and write it. So I'm going to put my charming face on and be like, listen, I need your scary story.
It just makes it so much more
for the people
real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it's like
different when you know someone.
It's fine. We sacrifice our sanity and sleep.
We do.
For you guys.
Our beauty sleep, which I cherish.
I do too. I need to like tell Ryan, like, I'm giving you notice. You are not allowed to spend the night anywhere. All of the month of October.
Night lights. All of October.
Yeah, seriously. Do you have a Turn It Up for us?
I do have a Turn It Up. I always have a Turn It Up.
Yeah, you do.
All right, let's go ahead and dive on into it. I'm not going to say the title, so let's just jump in. Hey, Taryne and Ashley. I've been a longtime listener and definitely leaned on this podcast to get me through some lonely work from home days in a new city. I'm one of your runners and definitely feel the motivation when you or other people say that they work out and listen. So if you're listening and running right now, you go girl. And I just want to take a moment to say last week, I found myself at the gym and I didn't have like a playlist that I was like necessarily like wanting to listen to. And I was doing 12 through 30. And I was like, oh my God, let me do what the UA listeners say and let me like listen to a podcast. So I put a podcast in and then I posted about it, which I was so excited about. And I misspelled something, which was hilarious because I obviously can't multitask. But it actually was good. But I will say.
Oh, yeah. Is that the one that I sent you the text being like?
Yes. I asked, there's a chat with me, Taryne, and our socials girl. And I was like, hey, like, let's post this since I'm trying it. Like, that'll be fun. And then I had a moment where I was like, don't ask her to, you're literally doing nothing right now. Like, you can post it. So then I was like, no, never mind. Like, I'll post it. And then I spelled something wrong. And Taryne immediately, like within 5 minutes, screenshot it, sent it to me. And I was just like, damn it.
I was just dying because it was like, guys, don't worry. Like, I'll do it. And like, none of us, like, me or Mandy hadn't responded
yet.
And so, like, you can always tell when Ash is in her, like, productive, energetic, like I can do anything modes.
Well,
and it was
also
like
just
one
had
of
pre-workouts. So
yeah, she's like, don't worry, guys. Like, I'm gonna do it, and then blah blah blah. And then I go on and I see it just like naturally like scrolling through stories.
Yeah.
And I was just like crying because I was just like, this
spelled
girl.
podcast wrong.
Yeah.
Or I spelled something wrong, which was hilarious.
You didn't put a C, so it literally was like pod space asked. I'm pretty sure. And I was just like dying because I was like, come on.
It's so funny, but it also tracks with where I was mentally that morning. So anyways, all that to say, I listened to the podcast and it was great. I wasn't exerting myself. I was doing like a mindless exercise. So I will say, I think there's something to be said about that.
Well, I think it's the specific running.
Yeah.
That
I'm like, I can't figure out like how walking, you would run and listen to that.
I don't know, man.
Anyways, back to your story.
Yeah. What were we doing?
She continues. My Tearing It Up takes place in 2022 when I was working at my old job where I was WFH almost 100%.
Work from home.
Oh, work from home.
You know, it's weird. I think we both at the same time were like, wait, what? And then I got it before you did. So
I had one
got
of those moments where I was like, WFH, what is that? She writes, I finally got put on a business trip and was so excited to meet the team that I had been working with. We were at the client for a big meeting on a Thursday, so we flew out Wednesday night. Thursday was spent running around to prepare and then facilitating a long working session. Finally, I was done, and it was the moment I had been waiting for. The drinks and brief, aka our time. I was so excited to just be there and be in person and get to know the people that I was working with a little bit better. I was seated across from the director of the project. We ordered our drinks. I got a French 75 because I thought it would make me look a little more dignified.
Oh, yeah.
And we started chatting. I'm a bit of an animated talker, though. So I started going on about something, and whack. I hit my full French 75 straight at my director.
Yep. Done it. Been there.
I drenched her entire blazer in lemon, gin, and champagne. I started apologizing profusely, and she laughed it off. But it did cut our team debrief short. I wish I could say that that's the only thing I've spilled at work, but the list goes on and on. I switched jobs in the middle of 2022. So in my first year at my new job, I have spilt coffee on myself, coffee on the table during meetings, coffee on my laptop twice. And I had to get a new laptop after the first time. Drinks on the table at happy hour and so much more. Hope this gave you a little giggle. I appreciate everything you guys do and who you are. Keep it up, Stephanie. It's just,
that's
you know
a brutal
what's extra? It's like bad. It's already bad enough that it's someone that you don't know well, like kind of a stranger, and like it's your first time really meeting, but it's like 10 times worse that it's the boss.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Literally, it's like the person you're there to impress, and just whack, there it goes.
Well, and as someone who is a very animated speaker too, I've done this like I would say for sure a handful of times. I'm pretty sure you've been at some of them where I've like literally just like punched a drink as I'm talking and you just feel so dumb because you're like,
it's been there for so long.
It's like one thing if you're like, you go to reach for your drink and you accidentally hit it. But when you're like telling a story and you're like laughing and like, you know, like the last time it happened, I was talking to people across the table and the server put a drink down. So it wasn't all my fault, but I didn't see her do that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, you were there. And I like pointed and it just like went flying. And I luckily like most of the times it's happened in front of like friends and they're just like, oh my God, Taryne, like get it together. But
I feel so bad for our writer because it's like the work trip she's been waiting for, the clients she's been preparing for, all this like build up. She flew out there, like all this build up, and then bam.
Yep.
Poor baby.
Hey, you got to break that
We've
ice
all
somehow.
been there. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, we got you. Today's episode is brought to you by Lumi.
Yes,
Isn't
Taryne.
it a must to smell good?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that is what Lumi is here to, support. Lumi was created by an OB/GYN who discovered and proved in clinical testing that, we can't just blame our body parts for day-to-day odor. Instead, she developed Lumi, which is a uniquely formulated pH-balanced deodorant. It's aluminum-free, skin-safe, and clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours.
So what makes Lumi unique and different from other deodorants? It is whole body deodorant, guys, the first of its kind. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. I'm talking pits, underboobs, thigh folds, anywhere. Lumi is created by an OB/GYN who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Lumi is clinically proven to block odor all day long and control odor for up to 72 hours. Guys, I'm actually a really big fan of Lumi. Me and my boyfriend go camping a lot, and that's like multiple day camping, and there's no shower option. So the last time I went camping, I took the Lumi wipes with me, and it was incredible. I basically showered with these wipes every single day. I never smelled gross, and I felt so clean afterwards. It was absolutely incredible. My boyfriend even loved them. Lumi is, of course, aluminum-free, baking soda-free, and paraben-free. pH balanced so it's safe to use below the belt, and you can choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage, or my favorite, toasted coconut.
Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi starter pack with code ADVICE at lumideodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit lumideodorant.com and use code ADVICE. Today's episode is brought to you by FabFitFun. Here is your free beauty and lifestyle hack for this episode. FabFitFun is the best way to save money on beauty and lifestyle products from the brands you love. Discover new brands and treat yourself to something nice without overpaying.
As a FabFitFun member, you get exclusive access to shop thousands of curated products from top lifestyle products and brands like Fenty, Kate Spade, Glossier, and many more for, get this guys, up to 70% off. And these aren't sample sizes, low quality products, or the discontinued lines or unsold merch you find at discount stores. So what's their secret? With over 1 million members, FabFitFun helps brand growth by placing massive orders with big promotions. In exchange, the brand offers up early access, exclusive drops, and steep discounts on the most sought after products. I've used FabFitFun many times in the past. I love it so much, and this is why. You can enjoy name brand full-size products of your favorites, new brands, and ones you've always wanted to try at discounted prices that you literally won't find anywhere else. So join the shopping membership loved by over 1 million happy customers and named #1 by Glamour magazine for 2023.
Sign up at fabfitfun.com/unsolicited. Customize your box and get access to discounts up to 70% off on brands like Fenty, Free People, and Our Place, to name a few. Not in love with this season's options? Take the credit to shop their exclusive flash sales of up to 70% and save on the biggest name brands out there. If you join FabFitFun as a new seasonal member right now, you'll also get 20% off your membership, so your first box is only $47.99 for up to a $300 value box each season, but only while supplies last. FabFitFun boxes sell out. Join FabFitFun today and save at fabfitfun.com/unsolicited. fabfitfun.com/unsolicited. Cool. Well, should I try to read through my story? Okay, so this is like I don't think we've talked about this before, and I feel like I have a very, what am I trying to say? Like, I can personally kind of relate or like understand this, and I think you can too. So I think this will be like a good topic.
Interesting.
And I really don't think we've talked about it, so
okay,
let me know. Okay.
I'm intrigued.
So this is called The Fine Line Between Professional and Personal. Hi, Ashley and Taryne. Let me start by saying that I love you too and your podcast. You are the older best friends / sisters that I've never had. Your podcast is one of my favorites. It is one of the few that I feel truly sucked into and can't get enough of. Thank you both for being so real with us and creating the UA fam.
Oh, cute.
Emo. Okay. I recently turned 24 and am a senior in college. I'm an Enneagram 4 and I'm from Utah. I know nothing about people from Utah. Who do we know from Utah? Oh, Sarah. Is Sarah from Utah?
I don't know if she's from there. I'm questioning that now.
There?
I think she used to live there.
Okay.
But
she's
I don't know if she's
great
from
time
there.
And she's super artsy. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming she doesn't seem like the type of person that would live somewhere that didn't fit her vibe. So I'm assuming there's cool parts.
I mean, I think it's very outdoorsy with like Zion, obviously like Mormonism.
Snowboarding.
And like outdoorsy things.
Okay.
I just camped at Zion for the first time. It was beautiful.
Okay.
And I know you can like snowboard up there too. So
okay.
I'd go out. Final answer.
Mormonism-y
things. That's where they're based, right?
I mean, yeah, it just anyways, it just was funny. I recently have been getting very into health and wellness, and as a result, I started going to the gym regularly. As a bigger girl, I feel extremely nervous and vulnerable going into this journey. I worried there would be a negative stigma and heavy judgment about chubby people lifting weights and using the treadmill. So my plan was just to put on my noise-canceling headphones, keep my eyes down, and stay in the corner. After starting to go to the gym, I realized that I couldn't have been farther from the truth. Most people just do their own thing anyway, and people are happy to help and support each other. After a couple of months, I felt like my efforts weren't getting me anywhere. I would go to the gym day after day and end up gaining 5 pounds instead of losing weight, which, by the way, muscle weighs more than weight.
Muscle does, and oftentimes it's water weight that's fluctuating, not your actual.
Yeah.
I think as women, we tend to fluctuate more already, but then if you're working out a lot, your water weight retention goes all over the place.
Yeah.
So it does feel like you're gaining weight, but a lot of times it's just like water retention.
Yeah. And she said lifting weights. So that's what made me think of that. And like, I feel like that is almost like the most crucial time to not be looking at a scale.
Yeah.
Is when you first are starting to work out, because it's really easy to get discouraged. And because your body, like you said, is going through a huge change. Sometimes it just fluctuates in general. I was discouraged, but I didn't want to quit. So I started looking into personal training services at my gym. The trainer that they put me with at first was okay, and we were together for a few weeks before the gym actually fired her for not working enough hours. That was frustrating for me, and I got shuffled around with a few different trainers while they were trying to figure out that mess. Eventually, I ended up as a client of a trainer who I'll call Braden. Immediately, I knew he was a great trainer for me. And after just a few weeks of working with him, I noticed changes in my body, which has been awesome. Don't get me wrong, I still have a long way to go, but I'm so grateful for the progress I've made. I'm getting stronger, less fatigued, and more mobile/flexible.
I love that.
Okay. Recently, I've started noticing my relationship with Braden changing. We have started to get to know each other pretty well and have become friends. We live in the same area and have a lot in common. We have a really good banter, and he frequently initiates fist bumps, high fives, and asks questions about the details of my life. I've always attributed this to him being good at his job, but recently I've started noticing that I am developing feelings for him. So here's my dilemma. I really like Braden as a fitness coach. He has developed a great program for me, corrects my form confidently, and pushes me hard. But he is also extremely good looking, kind, funny, and a great guy. However, I basically pay Braden to be my friend and do not want to assume that he's being nice because he is interested in me. Plus, let's be honest, he's a bit, you know what? I'm not even going to read that. Well, I'll read the sentence because everyone's going to be like, what does it say? But I don't want to read the sentence because it's ridiculous. She says, he's a bit out of my league. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
I'm curious why she thinks that.
I already know, because she's thinking like, oh, he's so nice and funny and he's training me. Like, she's down on herself. She didn't give any reasoning. I don't like it. No matter what your reason is. Nobody's out of anyone's league. No. You just might be in a different league. Nothing's elevated, though.
For sure.
Unless you're like Beyonce, okay?
I was going to say. Or Brad Pitt. If they're a 10.
Okay, fine. Or like
if they're a 10.
But that's it. I also feel like dating within a client-trainer relationship is just weird, and it feels off limits to me. I wouldn't necessarily want to say anything unless I switched trainers or if I had already finished my training program. Honestly, no major developments have happened anyway, so I'll probably just keep working with him, and this little crush will just disappear eventually. This whole situation is probably from the 4 inside of me feeling the need to dream up a romantic scenario for every situation I am in. Have you ever been in a situation where a personal relationship and a professional relationship overlapped? How do you navigate that? My gut is telling me that this is a good situation to apply the advice of moveon.com, but the other half of me doesn't want to miss out on a good thing. Much love, Anonymous. P.S. Here's a few pictures of me. Do you guys hate when we do this? I feel like they probably
They must hate it because they can't see. But
she's such a cutie.
What a cutie.
I like your braids. This is like really interesting to me. And I feel like, I know we haven't talked about like this specific situation, but I feel like we've touched on like the trainer client relationship and vulnerability that happens there. So I thought like we were perfect to like attack this, but I need a break. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I would love to.
I'm struggling.
Why don't you sip some?
I'm gonna sip a Diet Coke and water.
Someone get her some hot tea with honey. Wow. Well, Anonymous, you've come to the right place. I have literally been in your exact situation. I have had girl trainers and male trainers, tons of them, like not just like one or two, like I've had tons of them. But the first male trainer that I had, I ended up like catching.
Wait. Was it Michaela? Can you believe what I say? Was it?
Yeah. I ended up catching, and I don't even want to say feelings because I didn't even like him in that way, but there's something, and I've said this on the podcast before, there's something about working out with the opposite sex, or not even just like with the opposite sex, with an attractive person, that's not necessarily good for me. I think I, at that time, was in a very vulnerable place, and I was starting to feel I was in a very toxic place. I was borderline anorexic and going to the gym morning and night. So it was like twice. And there were no guys. I was a single little Pringle, and he was giving me all the validation that I needed at the time. So there is that to be said. But once I got that validation, I went every day. I took it. I made sure I made eye contact with him. Like, I wasn't even trying to have a relationship with this guy. I knew we weren't like meant for each other, but I continued to put myself in that position, and I shouldn't have. Yeah. And I think it ended up being way more of a messier thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it was necessarily a good thing. I think it was just very weird and very kind of just uncomfortable. And it made me not want to go to the gym after I crossed that line.
Yeah.
And I regretted that, because that was my place. Like, I was there every morning. I was there every night. I had a ton of friends there. This was way before I met Taryne. I had moved to a new place. I didn't have friends. So I started going to this gym, and I started making friends, and I loved it. And then all of a sudden I felt weird going, because this guy was there, and he was like the head manager or whatever. So he was literally always there. And it got in my head, and it got so messy. And I think I also may have like fantasized a little bit and like played into what could be or what the relationship would be. Again, not like I was trying to have a serious relationship, but it got way messier than it should have. And it got in the way of why I was there at the gym in the first place, which was to work on myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't work out with him, but I think you need to personally figure out what your boundary is and where you feel safest, and don't let yourself cross that line.
Yeah.
If he's helping you and making you feel good about yourself, that's incredible. And I think it is hard to find a trainer. We talk about this with therapy too. Mm-hmm. Like, finding someone that you click with is so important, not only in friendships and relationships, but also in work, and also in physical therapy, training, all those things. So if you found him and it's working, I wouldn't mess with it at all, because I wish I didn't mess with mine, and I could have just kept it trainer and trainee.
Yeah.
Because he was a great trainer, and I wish I could have like kept that. I ended up having to switch because it got so weird. And I don't want that for you, because it sounds like you're just getting in the groove and really starting to enjoy the process of like challenging your body in different ways. And I think this is a fun new chapter for you. And I would hate for this to get in the way of that. So I suggest sitting with yourself, being honest, and what's the priority here? Is it to flirt around with a guy a little bit, or is it to challenge yourself, be there for yourself, love yourself?
Yeah.
If it's the latter, then let's put him in his category and like draw a very strong line, and don't let him or you cross that. It's hard, but like, I think that's the best move for you.
Yeah, I think too, whenever you're able to kind of like, you sound like you're at the beginning of this stage. I said that weird. You're at the beginning of the process that you're about to, what am I trying to say? You're at the start of the beginning of the first of the start of the thing that you're about to do with yourself. There's an end and a middle. You're at the start.
You're at the start of a new chapter of
the process.
Wellness. Her new wellness chapter.
No. Let me just keep talking and see if it okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you start to like have a feeling, right? There's the first part where you're like, whoa.
Oh, catching feelings?
No, Ash.
I'm trying to get on the same page.
I'm not even on my own page, so like, just let me get
I'm gonna shut
up. So when you first have a feeling, like an emotion comes up, you first have that reaction where you're like, where did that come from? Like, what's that? And then you kind of go through like the spiral of like, does this mean I like them? Does this mean this? Like, you overthink it. Mm-hmm. You either like go full force into it, or you like start running away. It's like all those like reactions come. But then comes the process of like, for me, what I try to do is like take a step back and try to really understand, like, okay, what exactly am I feeling? Because you put it in a category that it might not actually belong in. And I think for you, I mean, if you're anything like me, I started going to my trainer when I was at a very vulnerable place with my body. I gained a lot of weight. I was super insecure about going into the gym. Like I would walk in with my head down and go to a treadmill and then like leave. I was not brave enough to like even step into like the weight side of it. I just was so insecure. I felt like everyone was looking at me. I hated it. So when I went with this trainer, you know, he was someone who I confided in. I told him about like the struggles I had been going through. He came alongside me and like walking with him into the weights, like I felt confident. I felt he was like my security there. He slowly started building me up and like making me feel like I could do these things. Then obviously I started feeling better in an area that had completely consumed me before. And he was like directly tied to it in my mind, right? So obviously, like the more time you spend with a person in general, you start to fill in the time with conversation. Yeah. So, you know, like your first sessions, he's like literally coaching you through absolutely everything you're doing. Whereas
correcting your
sessions
form,
into
making
it,
you breathe.
Yeah. You don't have to talk about it anymore. He'll just be like, hey, do a set 12 of these, go. Yeah. And then while you're doing them, then he's talking to you. He's asking you questions. My trainer, we always joked, I was like, I should be getting this for free because I'm literally your therapist. Because he would talk to me about his relationship, his family, like all this stuff. Yeah. So it's natural for you guys to like start to feel closer. But what I think has happened is I don't think you've identified that all of those feelings that are coming from your interactions with him are due to him being a person who's like uplifted you, who's given you confidence, who's given you security, he's giving compliments. He's
also doing his job.
Yeah, he's giving you the physical touch. Like I remember the same thing with my trainer. Yeah, like we started like hugging before and after sessions. And with me and him, I was able to like understand it was just friendship. But I would even tell Ashley, I'm like, I feel like he's like my therapist. Like I feel so close to him because I've like trusted him with an area of my life that I don't trust anybody with, you know? So I think that could be what's happening. Now, he could be really hot. He could have all the qualities of someone you want in a person, and you could have a crush on him. Like that's fine too.
Gym crushes are normal.
Yeah,
that happens.
I think it's definitely crucial to understand though, like where those emotions are coming from, because I do think you're at risk at like losing something that obviously is working for you. Yeah. And I think like you have to remember too, like if he was interested and like wanted to like go out, I think he would make that clear and like he would do it. Yeah. So if you're worried about that, like, well, what if like he doesn't make a move? Like, well, then like it's obviously not big enough that he like would do something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, or would or wouldn't do something. So I feel like taking a step back, reassessing where it is, and just focusing on like, no, we're just like homies. Like I spend so much time with them. We're friends. Yeah. And focus
again,
on what it's for.
Part of that like trainee thing is like being able to trust each other. Yeah. It really is. So it's when I'm not saying it's a scripted thing, but I know trainers are told to, hey, connect with your trainee, like get to know them on a personal level, see like, you know, how you can best be there for them to help them reach their goals.
Because they need your trust.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're not going to continue to like you, Anonymous, you're not going to continue to pay this person to train you if you feel like you don't trust him. Yeah. Like that's probably why you didn't connect with the other people. Yeah. So I'm not trying to diminish what you guys have. I think it's great. But also I think it's good to remember like he is just doing his job. Yeah. And his job is to help you to reach your goals and like help you feel safe and secure along the way. And those are also things that you look for when dating. So it's so easy hard to get it confused. But I think a good thing to remember every time you walk in there is he's doing his job. I'm paying him to help me feel good and confident in myself. And it's for me, not for him. So I think I would almost tell myself that. when I walk into the gym, the second I start feeling feelings, I would just be like, I'm paying him for this. Like, I'm literally here because I am trying to be here for myself. I'm not trying to find a boyfriend. I'm trying to like be here for me.
And like something too I would do is almost every trainer, like once I started going to a trainer and I started like meeting the other trainers, I started just paying more attention to like when I would be at the gym watching trainers with their clients. They all are flirty. They all are super just like over the top charismatic. They all have these crazy stories about like hooking up with clients. Not all, I'm sorry. I don't mean to like
generalize.
Yeah. But a lot of them from my experience of talking with, because my trainer would tell me all the dirt about like everyone. So I think it is something that those personalities do well in jobs like that. But another thing I would do is like watch your trainer train other women. And, you know, you might like see him and see the way he's interacting and be
instead
like,
of leaving,
okay.
maybe go to the treadmill and watch him do his job with someone else also, you know, like it's not necessarily a you thing.
Yeah, because I think everyone has crushes on me. Like, I'm totally guilty of that because I play things in my head. I'm like, oh, everybody wants me.
We're the main characters of our lives,
exactly.
You know, of course.
But then, like, I'll watch people interact with other people, and I'm like, oh, wow, he's just genuinely that nice to everyone.
Oh.
It's not just me.
Oh.
Okay, noted. Today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. Is hiring challenging? Yes. Do you love a good challenge? Also, yes. You need a hiring partner that can help you rise to the challenge. You need Indeed.
Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed is a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. Indeed streamlines hiring with powerful tools that find you matched candidates. And with Instant Match, over 80% of employers get quality candidates whose resume on Indeed match their job description the moment that they sponsor a job, according to Indeed Data US. One of the things I love the most about Indeed is that candidates you invite to apply are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in search, according to US Indeed data. And Indeed gets you one step closer to the hire by immediately matching you with quality candidates. And even better, Indeed's the only job site where you can only pay for applications that meet your must-have requirements. So join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast.
Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/unsolicited. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/unsolicited. Just go to Indeed.com/unsolicited and support the show by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/unsolicited. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. But it has nothing to do with you not being good enough or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it's just separating where the feelings are coming from, letting him be who he is in your life, and then trusting that, like, if something's meant to happen, then, you know, maybe it will. Or maybe you just tell him, like, hey, like, what are you doing after this? Me and a bunch of friends are going to get drinks if you want to come, and see if, like, he even would come just to hang out as a friend.
1,000%.
And then if, like, he won't even do that, then that's kind of an answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can definitely test the waters if you genuinely feel like this might be your person.
Yeah. I would wait a bit, though.
But you are risking losing, like, your trainer relationship. So I would just, like, do some digging first.
Do some digging, yeah. And, like, you never know.
Yeah.
You can leave it open, the possibility open. I'm not saying close it, but
yeah,
you're there for you. I would focus on that first.
Yeah. But it's a tricky, I mean, still to this day, like, the other day something came up and it made me think of my trainer, and I haven't trained with him in like years, but I texted him about like what had come up. And then for a minute we just like chatted about like how we're both doing. And like he just recently got engaged, and I was like, oh my gosh, finally, like it took you long enough. And he'll always be someone that just like means so much to me because he helped me in such a like rough time.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happens. So will my surgeon. Like, I'll probably never see him again, but like I love him because it was a vulnerable time. Like that's just what happens. We like connect deeper when we're in moments of like raw things.
Yeah.
You got this, though.
Ugh.
But update us. Update us on what you decide to do. Cause
especially if you decide to hang out with him outside of the gym.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that. All right, let's go ahead and get into mine. They write, hello, ladies. I've been a listener since some time within the first year of the podcast and have even re-listened to the episodes that resonate with the different stages in life that I'm experiencing as a 19-year-old.
Oof, 19.
19.
Good times.
What
I
a
actually
little
like
baby.
19 because I was like, okay, I can't. Every time you say you're 18, people are like, oh, you're legal.
Yeah.
But then it's like 19. It's like, no, I'm like an adult. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't just get here.
19's a good age.
Yeah.
It's a good age.
Fun times.
She writes, the age of 19 might seem young, but compared to my friends' partying and boy experiences, I feel as if my age is too old for my introverted self. I have always looked at myself as a relationship person since I have a love for rom-coms and Colleen Hoover books. I'm about to start a new one right now, tonight. I'm so excited. Yet my winter break changed that. Okay, maybe not that much. I simply made out with 2 guys. I just met on vacation and then on New Year's at a club.
Okay.
Prior to this, I only had a situationship with a guy in high school. Sometimes you just got to make out with someone,
Sometimes.
It happens. At first, my friends cheered me on, but then my best friend, who has been dating the same guy for 2 years, seemed to not encourage this and called my interactions hookups when I did not sleep with them. For example, she said that I would be fine hooking up with someone in a tone that meant I would be fine with someone taking advantage of me. I understand that she wants me to be safe, but I want to have the same sort of fun she has, but not in a committed way. My issue is that I want to embrace having fun while I can, but sometimes I doubt my decisions because of my best friend's opinion, and I'm too scared to approach guys. For example, the last time I was at a club, no guy approached me, as opposed to the time before, which made me doubt my confidence. So I would love to hear your guys' opinions on what makes a hookup physically and emotionally safe. I know I want to have a relationship eventually, but I don't think that will happen anytime soon. So I should have fun, right? Thanks for reading this email. Love, Anonymous.
This is very interesting. This has a lot of layers.
This has a lot of layers.
Because the friend part of it is like a whole different topic.
Oh, that changes everything. So
what should we tackle first?
Oh, there's so many things I want to start off with. First of all, let's talk about the friend.
Wait, can we first talk about the word hookup?
Oh my God, that's what I was going to say it right away.
Because I've always used that as a general statement of you had something happen between you and the person and it starts at making out, but obviously it can include other things. Because I've said that before, oh, this guy I hooked up with, but obviously I was not meaning going all the way.
So my entire life, hookup meant sex.
Really?
And with all my friends, it looks like our social girl agrees. All my friends used it in that same text. Oh, if they hooked up with someone, you were safe to assume they had sex the night before. So then
what would you say? There's another word.
There's makeout, and then there's hookup, and then anything in between, I don't know a phrase for. It was
that's what I'm saying.
So if you did sorry to give over. You did all other things with
Love
mouths.
Island. Bits. They say bits in Love Island.
If you did oral things, then you would say that.
I just gave you a word.
But I didn't go into the rest of it. I just said the first part.
I know. I use my word. Bits. Love Island.
I didn't know a phrase for that. Yeah. It was just you would explain what happened. So you either had a hot makeout session or you hooked up or anything in between you would explain.
Yeah, that's why it's so much easier to just say hooked up. Just covers we had an interaction.
I agree. But then that did lead to because you were the first person to tell me that hooked up meant, or you were the first person to tell me you thought hooked up meant everything. Everything in between, it just meant, no, yeah.
Oh,
it didn't necessarily
only
mean sex. Taryne uses it in a way that, it could have
meant make out
or whatever.
Okay.
So you were the first person to ever tell me that. And then I think I've met maybe one other person to say that also, but I always heard it the other way. So I'm curious. Maybe we'll take a poll on Instagram just for some clarity's sake, because we need to know. So anyways, first things first. That's just interesting.
That's covered.
The next thing, I think it is very difficult sometimes for friends when one is in a fully committed relationship and one is trying to have fun, and that is two very different social situations 90% of the time. However, I have met and known so many people that are down to go out and still have fun and be a great wing woman.
Yeah.
Even though they're not here to play.
Yeah.
They're just over there. They're sipping their drink. They're dancing. If you want to go talk to someone, they'll help you. And then they bounce, but they know how to still be able to do both. And I don't like the tone that she gave you.
But what's interesting
for trying to have fun
is their age.
Yeah.
Because if she's been in a committed relationship for 2 years, we're talking like 16 or 17 they got together.
Yeah.
And I will say, I had, so my first kiss was like my senior year. And then I didn't date anybody. And then my first boyfriend, I think we got together when I was like 19 or 20, and we were together for 4 years. So I remember I had a really hard time understanding the whole, and again, I use hookup as a general term, hookup culture, because to me it was like, what, like you didn't even know this guy, like you just kissed him, like you just like went home with him. I was like so confused because I had never personally experienced it. Like I was super, super innocent, and then I was in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder to understand things when like you haven't personally experienced it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like she never really has experienced it. So it seems a lot bigger to her. She doesn't understand it. Or part of her's jealous. Because
she can't.
I have two sides. My friends who are like, most of my friends are married. I have two sides. I have like my friends who are like super innocent and like got married really young and are like, oh my gosh, that's crazy that people like do that crazy stuff. Like, tell me about your life. It's so interesting. Or I have my friends that are like, oh, like, let me live through you. Like, what's it like? Like, so it could be that she's just coming from like a place where she doesn't understand, or she's like
probably
judging you because she can't do it herself.
Yeah. I mean, I always had, I never really did anything either, but all my friends did in high school. So I learned everything through them. Like seriously, like when it came to absolutely everything, anything you could think of, I learned through my friends in high school. Like my mom didn't even really talk me through a lot of stuff. It was my friends. So I think that's the only reason I was able to like hang in conversations. I was an awkward little noob in the corner. I wasn't doing anything either. I was too scared. But I would listen to my friends that were doing a bunch of stuff, and I'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
He did what?
But, okay, so think back to, because we've all had him, right? Think back to the first guy that you, I'm like, I don't even know what word to use. I'll say made out with.
Yeah.
First guy that you made out with that was like someone you knew, and it was super casual, and it was just like a spur of the moment thing, and then you like laughed about it later. Like the first guy that you like made out with and were like, oh, like that was just like a funny make out and like nothing serious, right?
Yeah.
So before that, when your friends would tell you like, oh my gosh, like me and this guy like made out, everything seems so much bigger, right?
Oh, for sure.
But then when you experience it yourself of like, oh,
It's
it was
not that
just
big of a
this
deal.
like heat of the moment, like we were dancing and like we kissed, and then afterwards we were like, what was that? Haha, and like moved on with our life. Then you're able to be like, oh, okay, like that wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
But it's everything is so amplified in your mind if like you haven't really like experienced it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, 1,000%. I would agree. It sounds wild and crazy and passionate, but like in the moment, you're kind of like, oh, I kind of felt that. That was kind of cool. Or it was like, it was whatever, but like, I'm going to go over here now.
I'm curious though about her whole like, because I do think like it is your friends' jobs to like look out for your safety for sure. But from what you've said you've done, like just made out with a couple people, and it sounds like it was like you were out with friends and like whatever. It's not, unless you're not telling us all the details. Like if you literally met a guy, he's like, hey, come over and hang out with me and my roommates, and you like went over to his house.
Yeah.
Then I could see your friend being like, hey, like, you're going to get yourself in trouble, like you're not being safe.
She definitely didn't say that, and I feel like she would have.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was the case. It makes me wonder if her friend's a little like goody-goody or a little like,
or just
we
like
don't do that. Or
yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe she's like, maybe she views, I'm talking about the friend. Maybe the friend views herself as like someone who has more experience than our writer. And so she's like, oh no, like that's not what you do.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't done that. But that doesn't mean that that's a wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
It just means that she hasn't done that yet.
Yeah.
So I would be very careful, or not careful. I would do whatever you feel like doing. I do agree. Like, obviously, girl code,
safe.
always be safe. Always have your friends there to keep an eye out on you. But, like, that's very harmless, innocent fun, in my opinion. And you're 19. Like, that's the age that happens.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say, too, I think it's very important to have a moment to, like, sit and reflect with yourself and be like, hey, like, what are my lines? Like, what are my boundaries? Like, what am I, like, okay doing or not doing beforehand? Because I think during that age, you do get into scenarios where you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard in those like spur of the moment things. Then you add in like, you don't know this person, so you're kind of uncomfortable to like speak up or alcohol or whatever. And I think that's when like a lot of people get themselves in situations. So I think you need to sit with yourself and be like, hey, like, with me, what I think, what I believe, what my standards are for whatever this time in my life is.
And also
what
be
am I
aware
okay
that like
with?
those things might change later on in 5 years.
Exactly.
In 2 months. You never know. Like you're constantly growing and learning and changing, especially at the age of 19.
No, for sure. But
And,
I'm saying like, if you are okay and you know what you're doing, you're not going into it being dumb and putting yourself in weird scenarios, then that's all that really matters. And if your friend comes to you, you can be like, look, I do appreciate you being worried about my safety. Just so you know, I know what I'm doing. I've thought these things out. I am being safe.
Yeah.
But if she keeps bringing it up, then I would confront her and be like, I feel like you're judging me. And it's to the point where I'm not really quite understanding like where this is coming from, and it's making me not want to share parts of my life with you, and like I don't like that.
And we all know I'm a non-confrontational person, but like I feel like I would almost just very casually, the next time you guys are all out or whatever, next time she says something, I would just very confidently just be like, what did she say? She said, for example, she said that I would be fine hooking up with someone in a tone that meant I would be fine with someone taking advantage of me. And I would just really confidently just be like, hey, you know that's not me, right?
Or just be like, what? Like, do you really mean like what you just said?
Yeah.
Like you really are saying.
Can you explain?
Me? Yeah, because sometimes people just need to hear what they say back.
Yeah.
And be like, what did you just say?
That's a very weird thing to say.
Yeah.
So I would just straight up like not call her out on it, but kind of call her out on it and just see how she responds.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, I hope you know, like, I'm not here trying to get hurt. I'm just trying to like have fun and like be a 19-year-old safely.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking to do that. And I hope you would know that since you're one of my best friends. Like, you know, and just kind of see how she responds. Maybe she didn't mean it that way. Maybe it came out weird. Maybe she's jealous. Who knows? But like, let's give her a chance to clarify and like make that better, because that was a weird thing to say.
That is a weird comment. I've had people say comments to me before too, or like say something about I really want to tell the story in detail, but I can't. I had a person basically like say, because I was like interacting with a bunch of my guy friends, and I have been told, and I am aware I come off as very flirty.
Yes.
But it's just because of like my demeanor. Like I'm just like, I like being like the center of attention and like talking to everyone, and especially guys. Like growing up with brothers, I'm just super comfortable interacting with guys. Obviously, I know when to like tone it down, and I'm not like inappropriate with like my friends' boyfriends or whatever. But I'm aware that like I have no problem going up to a guy and starting conversations. And so we were like, I was with a bunch of guy friends having a good time, and a certain individual made a comment to me and was like, you know, for a virgin, you sure are, like insinuated that I was like coming off as if like I do a lot more stuff than whatever. And like basically
like you're
like
lying?
yeah, basically like threw at me like a very personal like decision that I've made that was none of their business.
Yeah.
But also insinuating that like I was acting inappropriate or something, which I wasn't. And I've never snapped back so hard in my life because I was just like, first of all, this is not your business. Second of all, like, what? You know what I mean? Like, but I think people sometimes like they make those like digging comments, like, because no friend's gonna like imagine me ever saying that to you, like, Ash, you seem like a person that a guy would take advantage of and like do blah blah, like,
and be okay with it.
Yeah, no one would say that.
Yeah.
So I think like that's what gave me the impression like she's speaking kind of like mean about this stuff.
Yeah, very mean girl.
She's either judging you or she's jealous of you but can't admit it. So she's trying to like say stuff that's going to make you like go a different path.
It's got to be one or the other.
Yeah.
It's got to be one or the other because of the tone. The tone
tone's
wasn't
weird.
it
It's
wasn't
not
a
fitting
loving,
for a best
caring
friend. Yeah.
friend. Not even like a joking because I feel like me and Taryne love to like joke even harshly sometimes, but like that's too far. That's not funny.
Yeah.
So like that's not something a best friend would do.
Well, and like I've had friends that do just have different beliefs or different lifestyles than me.
Yeah.
And I'll share concerns if I have them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But then like it's not my job to live their life or like to police their life. So I'll share a concern because I love them and I think that's what friends should do. But then like they're a grown adult, they're gonna do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm gonna like be condescending when they talk to me or I'm not gonna ask them about their life? No, because I've chosen to be their friend. Like I'm not gonna do that. But she's not, I don't know, her involvement and her opinions are very strong for something as small as like you kiss a boy on vacation.
Yeah.
So I just would be curious what else is going on. There's something more.
Yeah, call her out. I'm gonna double down on that. I think just even if she doesn't say something, I would just next time you see her and you feel safe to, I would just be like, hey, you said this. What does that mean?
Yeah, like there's been a couple like off comments you've made and like
what does that mean?
I don't really appreciate it, but I am at a place where like I do want to start experiencing like flirting with guys and like having fun and
kissing a boy. Like that's okay. There's
and
nothing
I
wrong
just
with that.
like don't want to keep feeling like you're judging me. So I just wanted to get some clarity on like those comments.
And then stop talking. Don't try to fill the silence and let her explain herself.
You know what I heard before is like when someone says something rude, you always say what? Because a lot of times people when they have to like repeat what they just said, they'll either like kind of cower back or they'll be like, oh shoot, like I shouldn't have said that. So,
ooh, I'm gonna do that.
Let's do that. What?
I'm gonna do that.
What? Just kidding.
I'm gonna do that.
That's rough.
That sucks because she's like, taking away from like a fun 19-year-old. Like you're supposed to have fun and kiss a boy that you think's cute. Like it's not supposed to be that deep.
I can't imagine like me coming to you and being like, oh my gosh, Ash, like I met this guy and
me being like,
yeah, like on my vacation and like we kissed like while we were dancing to something and you just being like, someone's gonna take advantage of you.
Legitimately, I would be off to the side freaking out.
Yeah, you would.
And then I'd be waiting for you to finish and then like have a shot with you and be like, that was so cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love that. I miss being 19.
Very interesting. But I feel like my spidey senses are going off. I think.
Yeah, something's weird.
I think there's more.
There's
more there.
Afoot.
Wow.
Thanks for writing in. Thanks for sharing your 19-year-old life. I miss it.
It sounds like a TV show. My 19-year-old life.
Yeah. Well, should we wrap it up with a dad joke, Taryne?
My voice did pretty good. It like held on.
Your voice did
there.
really good. I kind of want to like keep going and just have you tell us
until I poop out
about your morning routine this morning.
It's weird because it'll be like stints where all of a sudden it'll be super solid and then 2 seconds later it's like so breathy. You know what's sad though? Like when I was younger, I'm going to totally feel old saying this, but same for you. Like when we were like in high school or like, again, I mean, when I experienced the whole like, I kissed a stranger or something, I was like freaking in my 20s, but it's fine. Even like, I mean, that's not even that long ago, like 10 plus years ago. Like there still was like worries, like you had to like be careful of certain things and
for sure
and whatever. Like I remember like starting to hear about like roofies and like whatever, but it was kind of more of like your decisions were more like morally based. Like, should I do this or should I not? Like, it wasn't your safety as much. But then, like, as I've watched over time, like, there's been so much more that's out there to where, like, I do understand people being like, hey, be really careful. Like, don't just, like, leave with a guy. Like, don't just, like, you can't just offer or accept a drink. Like, you can't. There's, like, so much you have to be so careful about going out now that, like, I can't even imagine. I don't know. It's just so different than, like, us being like, I'm scared because we are, like, shy versus, like, I'm scared I'm going to, like, get freaking taken by a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Do you follow, what's her name?
Oh, yes. Ella.
Ella.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that she just, she got roofied, right?
Yeah, she got roofied. And her friends were there with her.
So sad.
And they all were given these drinks. And her friend she was there with was like, don't drink them, just dance with them. But they ended up dancing for a really long time. And I guess she took a couple drinks like absentmindedly while she was dancing and like completely blacked out.
Well,
and luckily she had her friends.
Well, her friends and a staff member.
And those guys were following her.
They followed her into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, they were, like, on a mission, and that's so terrifying.
And it was at that gay bar in West Hollywood, and I just drove by it this morning, and I was like, that's where it happened.
You know, I've only been there once, and I remember when we were in line, my friends who had been there before were like,
careful.
Don't, like, leave your drink at all. Don't, like, if you have a bag or something, be careful. Like, people steal stuff, people get drugs. And I was like, why does anyone go here?
I think we were there together because they told me the same thing.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, how is this place still open?
I
because
did not
it's
even have
literally notorious for
Yeah.
people getting roofied and getting drugged.
No, literally.
Wild.
But, like, that wasn't, remember when we first started going to, like, clubs and dancing? It was, like, it was, like, trying not to get caught by your parents.
But I knew to, like, look and watch the drink being made, but I never, like, didn't accept a drink. I would just, if he handed me one out of nowhere, I would say no. But, like, if he took me to a bar and got me a drink, I would say yes because I was watching them make it. And then I would grab the drink myself. Like, that was always how I did it. But never, like, obviously, like, never just take one from someone out of nowhere.
Now it's like, oh, it could have been contact or, like,
it's
the
crazy.
bartender's in on it.
Yeah,
or, like,
that's
there's
what's
a
crazy.
whole,
There's, like,
it's
a
like
team.
everything.
The
It's
manager's
so
in on
scary.
it. It's like a whole, it's wild.
I hate
it's so
it.
scary.
I hate it.
Anyways, let's positive dad joke. We took a turn.
We're all going to die. My wristwatch broke, so I put it on my belt. Now it's just a waste of time.
Oh, that's a good one. I actually really enjoyed that one. It was very clever. Guys, you know the drill. You know the drill by now. Let's all say it together. If you made it to the dad joke, we love you the mostest. Be sure to follow us on our socials. And if you have a story that you would love some advice on, please send it in. Funny, serious, everything in between. We need your content to stay alive.
We do.
That's a fact. Also, it is time. It's spooky season time. So send in your scary stories and get excited because we have new merch coming for October series. It's going to be so much fun. We love you all so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Love you.
Bye.